Hello everyone, welcome back to another ranking video. Today you're going to be ranking one of metal's biggest bands, one of the big four thrash metal, Megadeth. Now Megadeth was formed in about 1983, I want to say, by Dave Mustaine and Dave Ellefson. Shortly after Dave Mustaine was kicked out of Metallica for his alcohol problems and his constant partying and just not really getting along with the band members. And Dave just, did his own thing. He's such a great lead guitarist. He's an amazing lead guitarist and became a frontman and a singer also, and took Megadeth really to superstardom. Unfortunately, then it reached the height that Metallica had, but they're still a great band. And music-wise, technically, I would say better. Musicians of all the thrash bands, they're technically probably one of the best out there, musician-wise, with their guitar playing. So I'm gonna be ranking only the studio albums and ranking them from my least favorite and to my favorite. And again, this is just my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. It's not set in stone, just my opinion. Okay, coming in last, everyone probably guessed this. This is Risk from 1999. This is the remastered version. That's why the cover looks like this, from 2004. Crush 'Em was a single release from here. And at this point, nu metal was all the rage, and Megadeth tried to dive, full force into the nu metal, and really did not work out. For being the thrash metal band, we wanted something better than this. I mean, I get that, metal definitely suffered in the 90s. A lot of bands changed their sound, especially Metallica. All over, I don't think this is an unlistenable album. Insomnia, Prince of Darkness, Enter the Arena. Like, when it starts off, it's like, okay, Breadline. I mean, I can listen to this, but I do listen to this from here to there, not all the time. But yeah, this is why it's coming in last for me. Coming next, it's from 2004. The System Has Failed. Now, when this album was actually, I believe, 3 years between Megadeth albums, unfortunately, Dave Mustaine suffered an accident where he hurt his arm and he could not play guitar for quite some time. So this was originally intended to be a Dave Mustaine solo album, but I guess he put it under the Megadeth name because obviously it would, sell better. A lot of session musicians on here, but there's still some decent things on here. Black Metal Universe opens it up. Died That Enough. I Know Jack, I really like that song. Of Mice and Men has got a kind of cool riff on there, but overall not something really memorable, especially when Megadeth made his comeback. Dave Mustaine really made his comeback after being out of the spotlight for a few years. Coming in next, from 97, this is Cryptic Writings. With this album, Megadeth was just aiming for radio play. Again, Megadeth's such a great, thrash band, is known for technical guitar work. We didn't really want this. The single Trust, what opens up, it's not a bad song. I do like it. It's definitely got that alternative kind of, Metallica load reload sound to it. Almost Honest is okay. But off of here, I would say She-Wolf is probably the heaviest song and my favorite off of here. But yeah, I mean, it's got the classic lineup of Nick Menza on drums, Marty Friedman on guitar, Dave Ellefson on bass, and obviously Dave Mustaine on guitar and vocals. And like I said, it's not a terrible album. I like Megadeth, and for me, it's kind of hard to rank this so low on the list, or high, however you want to look at it. Okay, coming in next, The World Needs a Hero. This is from 2001. This is the 2019 Sanctuary remaster. That's why the cover looks a little different. I prefer this cover better. I think it looks really decent. Really cool looking. Last album with Dave Ellefson, in about, I think he wouldn't return again until about 2010. So about 9 years Megadeth would go on without Ellefson. Overall, it's a decent album. It's definitely back to their thrash roots that they're going with Cryptic Writings and Risk. Disconnect, it opens up. It's a really cool song. The title track's my favorite off of here, The World Needs a Hero. Motorpsycho is cool. But overall, I just feel like it's a little too long. Let's see, well, it's only 12 tracks on there. The ending track blend is really cool. Like a 9 minutes, jam session. when this album came out, it actually like went really debuted in the Billboard charts really high, like within the top 20. And I guess everyone wanted to hear Megadeth return to form with the thrash, you know, the heavy sound, especially at the height of new metal. Excuse me. Allergies are really getting to me today. All right, coming in next from 2007, I believe, United Abominations. Again, another one I bought. These 2019 remasters. Some of the stuff I bought used, and or this got kind of scratched up. So when I saw these couple new remasters, I went and grabbed them. They're pretty cool. Overall, a decent album. Not too memorable. Sleepwalker, Watching Is Next. Never Walk Alone, A Call to Arms, the title track. Gears of War. So them, beginning songs really hit you, and then it kind of dies off towards the end. Atat Le Monde, which is redone, entitled Set Me Free, features Christina Scabia from Lacuna Coil. And, she's the Set Me Free part comes from her vocals from Heaven's a Lie. And I'm a big fan of Lacuna Coil from that period of time. And especially Christina. I love Christina. So that's a cool highlight for me. A lot of people don't like it. It's not really a heavy Megadeth song. But overall, I think it's pretty decent. I always felt like this artwork and System Has Failed pretty similar, really though they're not. But I always get these two albums confused. For me, it could be like part 1 and part 2. They're released 3 years apart. Okay, coming next. Super Collider from 2013. This album got a lot of shit when it came out, and a lot of people don't like it. I think it's amazing. Really thrashy album. The one thing I will say is nothing really memorable. The riffs on here are cool. The solos are amazing. The album cover art isn't that great. But the Kingmaker that opens it up is very, very heavy, very thrashy. The title track is cool. Built for War is awesome. The Blackest Crow, Forget to Remember. And ending with Cold Sweat is a good, ending to this album. But yeah, like I said, at this point, I just feel like Megadeth were putting out so many late albums that they kind of just started to blend into each other. And was nothing really memorable. Nothing like, Hangar 18 or Peace Cells, stuff like that was really memorable. But overall, a really good thrashy album. Okay, coming in next, 13. Cool album art there. See, Big Rattlehead was Back to You. This is the one with the return of Dave Ellefson, I believe. Son of Death would open it up. Public Enemy #1. We the People. Again, Dave's got his political views in here. Another thrashy album. And obviously it's named after, obviously their 13th album. Also, the lucky number 13. And on the back you see Vic there laying in his casket. But, just like Super Collider, really thrashy album. But again, it's not that memorable songs. I do think this is better than Super Collider. Like I said, there's a couple songs, Sudden Death, Public Enemy #1, Whose Life's It Anyway, that, those are kind of memorable. But some of them are just known for their solos and riffs. And more just kind of blend into each other. Coming in next are the last release from 2016. This is Dystopia. What a return to form for Megadeth. Amazing album. Definitely up there with some of the greatest thrash albums. An overlooked thrash album, in my opinion. The Threat Is Real, which opens it. The title track, Fatal Illusion, Bullet to the Brain, Poisonous Shadows, Living in State, The Emperor, Foreign Policy. Amazing, amazing album. And so far, it's been 5 years since Megadeth have released that. I think that's their longest time between albums. So hopefully we get something from Megadeth soon. Obviously, there's a little controversy. Dave Ellison's once again out of the band. So Megadeth's hitting in the road this summer. Hopefully this pandemic stuff is over and we get to see more shows, and maybe Megadeth heads back in the studio and records a follow-up to this. This is the first album to feature, I'm probably going to butcher his last name, as I always do, Kiko Loureiro. Probably butchered that. But amazing guitarist. And this also featured Adler from Lamb of God on here, but he was fired, or I don't know if he was fired or kind of let go or whatever. This was released, so amazing drum work from him. So I'm kind of curious to see which direction Megadeth's going to go in next. Okay, coming next, Endgame, another one from my 2019 remasters. My favorite of the later era Megadeth. When Dystopia came out, I loved Dystopia so much, and I was like, wow, that's my favorite Megadeth album since Rust in Peace. But this one kind of held up better for me. It's just slightly than Dystopia. This is a really, really heavy album. The riffing on here and the solos are just out of this world amazing. Dialectic Chaos, This Day We Fight, 44 Minutes, Bite the Hand, Bodies, the hardest go part of Letting Go, Sealed with a Kiss, Head Crusher's great, and The Right to Go Insane, the end is just amazing. Yeah, man, this is such a great album. This is definitely the best of post-90s Megadeth, in my opinion. This also features this remastered edition, a live track, Watching Us Next. I don't know why. But yeah, just an overall amazing album. The cover art's kind of cool there. He still has the, the political ties from Dave. This there. Looks like prisoners being led into a slaughter or something like that. Okay, now we are at 1994's Euthanasia. Really good album, an overlooked album, I feel like, by Megadeth. I feel like it gets more praise now than it ever did. Very heavy album, very fast album. Reckoning Day, Train of Consequences, Addicted to Chaos, Atat Le Monde. The one single off here, really good song. Definitely radio friendly. It's heavy, but it's not, thrashy heavy. But overall, 12 songs on here, amazing album. Coming at their Countdown to Extinction, which I feel like was aimed more towards the radio, they definitely went back in a different direction. Again, Marty Friedman on guitar in this, just an amazing guitarist. And really good album. The cover art, pretty cool. The title Euthanasia kind of refers to society euthanizing the kids. There you see the elderly woman, hanging babies by their toes. But yeah, like I said, this is getting more praise, I feel like, now than it did when it actually came out. So this is becoming more of a cult favorite Megadeth album. Okay, now we're down to the top 5. And coming number 5 for me is their debut album, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. This is the 2002 Loud Records remaster with the original cover art that came from Dave's sketches as he intended it. The album cover art that was released in 1985 was what the record company went with and not what Dave actually approved, so I know he was kind of, pissed off about that. But this is stuff that he's written while he was in Metallica and brought with him. Last Rites, Love to Death, which opens it up, is amazing. It's kind of the forefront of what would come on the next couple Megadeth albums. Obviously, the title track's amazing. The Skull Beneath My Skin, Rattlehead, Chosen Ones, Looking Down the Cross, Mechanics is basically Metallica's The Four Horsemen, but Dave's version with different lyrics. And then the one thing I could do without is the cover of Nancy Sinatra's These Boots, which ends the album. And it was a little controversial at the time when it came out, where they actually, I to this day still don't know what Dave sings, but they actually censor him and they bleep him out on the album. And 3 bonus tracks on this edition, couple demos, well, 3 demos that they are. And this is actually re-released as the Killing Is My Business, Business Is Good. I think it was called The Final Cut or something, with yet a different artwork and a digipack. I haven't re-listened to it, or I haven't bought that. I probably won't, as I do enjoy this edition. I like this cover art best. Coming at number 4 from 1992, this is Countdown to Extinction. We all kind of know that Dave kind of rivaled Metallica, and I don't want to say he envied them. I mean, obviously he envied their success, although Megadeth was very successful in their own right. But I feel like they kind of took the same direction as Metallica did, and I feel like this is their Black album. But, more of a slowed down, heavy album as opposed to the thrashy stuff that came before. Some people love this album. Some people think this is Megadeth's greatest album. I don't think so. Skin of My Teeth, which opens it up, it's cool. Sympathy to Destruction is their, you know, single, which is all over MTV. Kind of a slowed down song. For Closure of a Dream is great. I love that. Sweating Bullets, another, you know, single by Megadeth off of here. Title track is cool. High Speed Dirt, I'd say, is probably my favorite off of this, along with Ashes in Your Mouth. Really cool cover art, but for me, it just doesn't hold up as the, you know, the first couple albums that came out. Better production than Killing Is My Business, which is why I put that above it. But overall, it's more of a hard rock album as a thrash album, I would say. And, you know, the cover art, I feel, is more deceiving. You would picture a faster, heavier album than it is. But that's just my opinion. It's just how I feel. I know a lot of people love that album. Sure, a lot of people disagree with me. There may be some people that do agree with me. As this one will be a little controversial. Coming number 3. So Far, So Good, So What? A lot of people don't like this album. It was sandwiched between two amazing albums by Megadeth. But for me, this is the first Megadeth album I bought. So it has a special place for me. This is obviously the 2004 remaster, as I bought this, you know, it was the original one I bought back in the 90s, under Combat Records CD. But, you know, traded that in back then and bought the remastered edition. And, yeah, amazing album. I love this album. It gets a lot of shit. Into the Lungs of Hell, the instrumental that opens it up. Set the World on Fire is amazing. The Color of Anarchy in the UK by Sex Pistols, I can kind of do without that. But that's actually funny, one of the first Megadeth songs I've heard. It was on a compilation. I think it was like the Hard and Heavy or something like that. Mary Jane, amazing song. 502. In My Darkest Hour, there was a video made for that. Amazing song, I love that. Liar, Hook and Mouth. I mean, the 8 tracks, you know, I would say besides Anarchy in the UK, are just amazing. I love it. And I never knew why this got so much shit. I mean, the cover art is okay. I kind of like more the cartoonish Vic Rattlehead than the, you know, more the real-life looking version there. Again, another political album by Megadeth. And yeah, coming in number 3 for me. A lot of people might disagree with it, but I love it. Okay, coming in number 2. 1986. This was the album that really got Megadeth, put them on the map and got them a lot of notice. Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? Obviously, classic, iconic cover art. Amazing album from start to finish. Wake Up Dead. Such a great riff in that. The Conjuring, another amazing. Peace Sells with one of the greatest opening lead bass lines of all time. And MTV actually used it for their MTV News. Devil's Island's great. Good Morning and the Black Friday, probably my favorite track off of here. Bad Omen. Again, another track I ain't go without. Another one of their covers, I Ain't Superstitious. And finally ends with My Last Words. So yeah, Megadeth kind of, their first 3 albums, they put these covers on there, and thankfully they stopped it because I was never a fan of the covers. Obviously, Anarchy in the UK, I think, is the best of the 3 covers, but I Ain't Superstitious, I ain't a big fan of that. So, I mean, I feel like if they would have replaced that with something different, definitely would have, you know, made this a better album, even though this is known as, you know, one of the greatest thrash albums of all time. Megadeth, a lot of people will put this as Megadeth's best album and the album that you most know Megadeth for, but not for me. It comes at number 2 because number 1, one of my favorite albums of all time, Rust in Peace. I mean, just an amazing album. I mean, look at that cover art, it's amazing. The title track that opens it up, Holy War's The Punishment Due. I mean, the soloing on there between Marty Friedman and Dave Mustaine is just insane. And then to follow it up with one of my favorite songs of all time, Hangar 18. I mean, the dueling solos on that are just insane. Like, that's just one song I never get tired of that I could just listen to over and over and over again. Take No Prisoners, Five Magics, Poison Was the Cure, Lucretia, Tornado of Souls, another amazing track, Dawn Patrol, and finally it ends with the title track, Rust in Peace, Polaris. I mean, the cover art is just amazing. Such a good album by Megadeth. This was released in 1990. For me, I feel like this should have followed up Peace Sells instead of So Far, So Good, So What. But I guess at the time, they didn't have Marty Friedman and Nick Menz on drums, which made them a better band. But I feel like this came out a little too late, because in 86, you had Rain and Blood, you had Master Puppets, and you had Peace Sells. And then 88, you had South of Heaven and Justice for All. And then So Far, So Good, So What, which is not as good as an album as the other 2. I feel like if they would have followed up with this, Megadeth would have, you know, been in the forefront of the big four of thrash. And unfortunately, being released in 1990, we saw the music, you know, landscape change with Metallica going, you know, radio friendly right into the Black Album after Justice for All. We saw grunge, you know, take off. So unfortunately, this came out a little late for Megadeth, in my opinion. But overall, they're you know, best album in my opinion. One of the best thrash albums of all time. You know, I would say probably Rain and Blood, Master Puppets, and Rust in Peace. Top 3 thrash metal albums of all time, and not in that order. But yeah, this is my #1. And if you've not heard this for some reason, or just go out and buy it. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Whether you're a Megadeth fan or not, if you like thrash metal, if you like metal, if you just like the sound of guitars, this is the album to go with. And like I said, Hangar 18, one of my favorite songs, one of my most favorite songs of all time. So that's the ranking of my Megadeth albums. And again, it's just the studio albums. Although I love Hidden Treasures, I couldn't include it because it wasn't a studio album. More of a compilation of B-sides and covers and things like that. So I'm just going to go over it real quick. Back down, coming at #1, Rust in Peace. #2, Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? #3, So Far So Good, So What? #4, Countdown to Extinction. #5, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. #6, Euthanasia. 7, Endgame. 8 is Dystopia. 9 is 13. 10, Super Collider. 11, United Abominations. 12, A World Needs a Hero. 13, Cryptic Writings. 14, The System Has Failed. And coming in last for me, Risk at #15. So everyone, thanks for watching the video. Today is Memorial Day 2021, so I just want to give a big thank you to all veterans and anyone who served in the military, past, present, future. I support you, and I appreciate all you've done for the country. And everyone else that's enjoying the weekend, stay safe, and don't forget, you know, the reason for the weekend. And again, thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe if you like what you see. There's more content always coming. A lot of these ranking videos, according to the bands, there's other ranking of genres and things like that I do. And as always, I post a lot of my collection on Instagram at Gary with Elysiums. So again, if you like this video, please like it, please subscribe. In the comments, leave your ranking. Again, this is my opinion, my ranking, so it's not right or not wrong. If you disagree, I understand. I probably don't agree or disagree with most people's, but leave yours in the comments. I'd like to read how other people rank them. And again, thanks for watching.